I'm Victoria from Biblio Lifestyle, and you're listening to the Reader's Couch podcast, the show that will help you bridge the gap between living a full and busy life to one where you're reading, learning new things, and having fun. It's Throwback Thursday, and in today's episode, I'm sharing an interview I had with author Julia Drake to talk about her debut novel, The Last True Poets of the Sea. Stay tuned. So I have a quick question to ask you. Have you ever thought about starting a reading habit? Or maybe you're a once-in-every-blue-moon type of reader, but you want to be more consistent and maintain a reading habit. Or maybe you're an avid reader, but you're interested in having a more intentional and fulfilling reading life. Does that sound like you? If any of those scenarios sound like you in even the slightest, I want to invite you to take the What's Your Reader Type quiz. It will only take 60 seconds of your time and you'll discover your reader type. But most importantly, you'll get the resources you need to start reading, maintain the habit, and get intentional. So visit readertypequiz.com. That's readertypequiz.com. It will only take you 60 seconds and you'll discover your reader type and get the resources you need. So whether you're an aspiring or avid reader, go to readertypequiz.com, spend 60 seconds and take the quiz that will help you get clear on where you are right now and what you need to do to live your best reading and literary life yet. Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Reader's Couch podcast. It's Throwback Thursday, and in today's episode, I'm sharing an interview I had with author Julia Drake to talk about her debut novel, The Last True Poets of the Sea. Now, this interview was recorded in September 2019, and the book was published in October 2019. Now, The Last True Poets of the Sea is a young adult contemporary romance that's a retelling of William Shakespeare's romantic comedy, Twelfth Night. I really enjoyed reading this book, and it was just such a pleasure revisiting this interview because it was my first author interview ever. So I really hope you enjoy this interview with author Julia Drake talking about her book, The Last True Poets of the Sea. So tell us about your novel, The Last True Poets of the Sea.
Yeah, so The Last True Poets of the Sea has been described to me by my editor as a book that is impossible to pitch, but I will try. So it is a loose retelling of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, and it's set in a fictional town in Maine over the course of one summer. And so it's a story of friendship, but also queer love, found family, surviving mental illness, and adventure. And so it has many moving parts. And basically the general plot is that three teenagers try to find a shipwreck one summer, but lots of hijinks ensue.
Okay, so tell us about the concept for this book. What was your inspiration for The Last True Poets of the Sea?
So I came up with the concept for this book because I was in graduate school at the time working on my MFA in creative writing, and I was writing a lot of short stories that were extremely serious. And so what I was really trying to do was to have fun writing. And Twelfth Night was a play that I had always loved deeply. I'd actually acted in it when I was 16 and played the main character, Viola, who I just always loved for her warmth and her wit. And I felt like there was a lot that was left unexplored between Viola and her relationship with Olivia, who's the other main female character in Twelfth Night. And I wanted to write a fun book that explored that relationship more through a queer lens. And I thought, man, that would be a really fun project. I'm just going to queer Shakespeare and forget about writing these serious short stories for a while. And it wasn't long after that the project took on a life of its own.
So, Julia, when you're not reading or writing, what are you doing?
When I'm not reading and writing, I have a couple of jobs. So I work as a writing coach for aspiring authors. And then I'm also generally hanging out with my rabbit, Ned, who's my very sweet and soft boy. So still sort of doing writing things and or spending a lot of time with my animal.
So, Julia, I have a question that's going to sound like it's coming from left field, but it's a very important question. Do you bookmark or dog ear your pages? The readers want to know.
I know this is probably a non-answer, but I do both. I love to dog ear. But here's the thing is I collect bookmarks from all the independent bookstores that I go to, but I find I never use them. What I wind up doing is like using receipts or like horrible scraps of paper as my bookmarks. So I have all these bookmarks that I never use for their proper use. And then I dog ear as well. So I'm a little scatterbrained, as you might be able to tell, but if I could get some system in place where we're actually using the bookmarks, that would really revolutionize my reading experience, I think.
I love it. Okay, so on the note of indie bookstores, share with our listeners some of your favorite local indies.
Favorite indie bookstores? Yeah, so I just moved from San Francisco to Philadelphia. So a big bi-coastal move, but in San Francisco, I loved the Booksmith and the Haight, and I would walk there quite a bit through the Panhandle. It's just a really great store. And then in Philadelphia, I've had a lot of fun exploring new bookstores. I've really liked Head House Books, which is over in kind of Queen Village area. And I'm really excited because I'm going back to my childhood bookstore for my book launch, which is Children's Book World in Haverford, Pennsylvania, rather. Yeah. I feel very honored to be having my launch there.
That's amazing. I mean, that just sounds like a really cool homecoming, you know? Getting back to your book, The Last True Poets of the Sea, what are you hoping readers will take away after they finish reading your book?
You know, I wrote the book really hoping that it would be just kind of like a fun, transporting read. I wasn't really thinking of like, I want to get this message across, or I want readers to, have this big takeaway from the book. I just wanted them to really be swept up in a great story. But I do think now, having written the book, and that the book has turned out to be so much about mental illness and survival, it's my hope that readers feel less alone when they see characters who might be struggling with issues that are very similar to theirs. And it's my hope also that readers are able to see that surviving doesn't necessarily mean, conquering something. On the contrary, it can mean just finding one small moment each day that you're grateful for. And I hope that might be something that alters somebody's thinking.
I love that. Thank you so much, Julia, for speaking with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Victoria.
Thank you so much for listening to the Reader's Couch podcast. Please subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and take a few seconds to leave a rating and review. Until next time, stay lounging, stay reading, and whenever you're in doubt, go straight to your local bookstore or library. Thanks again for listening, and happy reading.